speaking on that transitional thing, into Apple, of course, the iPad 2 has already been jailbroke. It was done remotely, which means the iPad 2 still isn't secure.
Surprise.
Well,
Yay.
Okay, we should be fair here. No mobile device is secure. You can do stuff like this to pretty much any Android device under the right circumstances. A Windows Phone 7 device, a BlackBerry, under the wrong circumstances, all right, depending on what you're trying to do. The truth is, these devices are largely not being treated like the computers they are, so they are vulnerable to attack, and they are vulnerable to doing things with them. It bugs me a little bit when it comes to the Apple side of things, because part of the Apple mob mentality is Apple is secure, Apple's protecting them, Apple's not. Well, to a point they are trying, but the reality is you can't lock a device down that much and have it still be user-friendly. Which means you just need to kind of accept that whether it's an appliance device or not, it has computer-like aspects, and it should be treated.
It has a freaking on-process it. That's an any computer made 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if I can jailbreak it remotely, which is something that requires root level access, master admin control, whatever. I have to go. I have to go throw my disk at the MCP, and I get through, and it goes away. Whatever. But if I can do that, I can do other things. And there are a number of, everybody's getting on, Android getting stuff, but the reality is there's just as many prototype malwares for iOS. There's code getting through. It would not honestly surprise me if there's some iOS devices around being owned right now. Now, there is a limit of life to an iOS device being compromised, because assuming you're doing what Apple recommends. I mean, I think you can still do I'm just going to upgrade my OS, but the way Apple recommends you upgrade iOS is a complete,
buy a new device.
No. If the device is upgradable, you plug it in and you do the upgrade, and it basically resets your device to factory standard.
But how fast is an iPhone 3G with more OS for that too? Or for upgrade?
Yeah, but it's like you download. The recommended is you just do a clean install and then restore your apps and music and stuff. Is the recommended thing. And if you're doing that, and I do recommend anybody who has an iOS device do this, because it's good 101 security. If your device has somehow gotten compromised since the last time you updated, doing that ISO install from Apple, the trusted source to get the install, would wipe out any kits or other things that have been added in. Of course, it's going to also wipe out all the things you've done, like if you jailbroke your device to get around Apple's things. This is the other reason I think, partly to help protect their users.
Which is why you want to back up.
Well, yeah, this is the other thing. I think, you should back up, but also to protect. This is one of the things, I think Apple shouldn't be fighting the jailbreaking, especially since the courts agreed, the end users have the right to do it if they want. I think they should kind of be embracing it, because the reality is...
Otherwise.
Well, but see, the reality is the type of users who are jailbreaking an iOS device are more sophisticated users. They understand that if they fuck up their device, Apple isn't responsible. They understand they did it. It's not like it's going to come back on Apple. So it's really one of those things. It would be better if Apple would embrace it, so that...
The default thing is we hold it and, they don't... Okay, you want to go on your own? Fine, you're on your own now.
They don't even have to become open and leave them out to the cold, but, it's basically... Part of the problems with iOS is this cat and mouse game between... Apple doesn't want you to jailbreak it, but a large number of their user base want to add functionality to iOS. So it's like, Apple, stop attacking your users. They're not the enemy. They're the people giving you money. Let them make the choice for themselves. Don't go out of your... It's just like the fact that Apple keeps attacking iTunes compatibility with other things. I would think they'd want the money.
I wonder what percentage of iOS users actually jailbreak the devices.
Well, if you heard Apple, they say, "Oh, these two kooks."
Oh, they're totally good geopods. They actually use NAND flash and do some sort of prototyping.
That would be
flash the ROM.
That would be an interesting metric to get, considering that it's technically against the AT&T and I think Verizon terms of service, and it's one of those things it's going to be almost impossible to get an accurate metric on that. But that would be an interesting number to have. Honestly, I don't think people should have to choose between latest security patches. There's many things on iOS that are still not patched. Of course, there's plenty of things on Android that still aren't patched either. This isn't just an iOS problem.
No, even the jailbreak hack, you can tweak stuff and patch stuff before Apple can.
Yeah. Well, no, I'd say that's one of the things. There are people who jailbreak their iPhone so they can patch things. Because they want to patch things rather than wait on Apple to patch them. Now, that's a bit of overkill in my particular point of view, but there are people who take that stance.
No problem to that.
Yeah, it's and again, it's about the end user's choice more than any particular thing, and I don't understand why Apple's declared war on their customers.
After all, what's separate the man from the slave? Money, power. No, a man chooses.
Yeah. Anyways, we could be hashing. Yeah, we could be hashing on this all night. Let's move on to the conversion app.
Oh.
Okay. I'm hesitant to even go into this story. For those of you who haven't heard, the gist of it is I forget if it's a priest or a pastor, some Bible thumper made a Pray the Gay Out app.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and of course, the gay activists have gotten on their high horse, and they're mad at Apple because Apple rated this thing a 4+. Which by Apple's criteria system means there's nothing offensive in it. And of course the gay people take offense to that because the whole premise of a Pray the Gay Out app is that there's something wrong with being a homosexual and stuff. Okay, everybody take a step back for a minute. Ultra fucking conservatives who hate homosexuals and feel there's something wrong with them. Shut the fuck up. Ultra liberal ass, it's gay, I'm proud, it's gay, it's gay. Shut the fuck up. Both of you, you're nuts. I'm going to get flack for this. I'm sure I'm going to lose subscribers over this.
I'm going to say flack because of this, but yeah.
Yeah, but the reality is, is this an issue for anyone anymore? Does anybody honestly give a shit if somebody is or isn't whatever?
I'm saying it shouldn't be an issue. If people have an issue with you, tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, the whole thing makes my head. I've never understood. Ever. Little bitty kid. Never. I didn't get that. I didn't get what the frickin'. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't affect me. What two consenting adults are doing, regardless. Whether they're doing the Egyptian mambo or this, whatever. Doesn't affect me. At all. So I don't care. And, I don't know. It's like, this is one of those things that it becomes a button for people. Everybody goes off on it. But aside from when the press goes a little nuts on it, and when stories like this get written, and you have some gay hater get up on us, we're the world of fags, and you have some ultra, oh, I'm out of the closet and everybody has to join me. Get out thing. It's just, And I think you're right to stay shut up on this. I probably shouldn't have covered the story, but I've had it with both of them. Nobody cares. People are what they are. What's one of the really stupid things about this is there's actually some studies that suggest that. Okay, I'm not going to go into that shit because that will just be yada.
Yeah, but too controversial. The way it sounded, yeah.
Yeah. No. I could give a shit if somebody's gay, straight, bi, lesbian, dyke, whatever. I don't care because it doesn't affect me. This is the only way in which it can possibly affect me. Somebody who swings the other persuasion is attracted to me. They come on to me. I say no, thank you. And that's it. And you know what? I've been attracted to chicks that have absolutely no fucking interest in me whatsoever. Now, in today's world, I'd probably get sued for sexual harassment. But
yes, you would.
Yeah, but when I was figuring that out when I was younger, it was basically they just, I got slapped once. But, largely it was just they reciprocated that they did not reciprocate my interest in them, so, that just didn't go anywhere. It's like, and I went awful heartbroken and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, that's the worst possible situation that could happen in that type
of... like legal suits and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, honestly...
not a tangent.
Even if, because, like, supposedly the big problem is the Bible says they're all going to hell. Okay, fine. It's their soul. So, in that...
God gave free will.
Yeah, isn't that their choice? And I'm not... Nobody put fucking words in my mouth. I'm not saying all the gays are going to hell. I have my own theological points of view.
We're both going to hell. They'll be there. There'll be some cheap crack course there.
Yeah, but it's, even if that is the case, it's their soul, their choice. Whatever. That's... So... Moving on to something less politically incorrect.
Oh, damn. You went pretty far on that one.
It's human stupidity, regardless of what the hell's causing it. It makes my head hurt in general, and that's one of those things that I don't see any intelligence on either side in that particular argument anymore. When everybody was homophobic, there was at least some intelligence on the ultra-liberal gay side. But, like I said, does anybody even give a shit anymore aside from a few bigots and ultra... Oh, their souls! Aside from that, does anybody give a shit? Move on. Okay.
AT&T.
Yeah, of course, AT&T dropped the price on the iPad 1, so they're now... because Apple's subsidizing them, but AT&T is further subsidizing them. So, if you're in the States and you want an iPad and you're not ultra impressed
and you want a data plan from hell.
Well, yeah, there's that aspect too, because you got to sign a contract to get the subsidy. Then again, to tell me who you don't get the data plan from hell from with T-Mobile going away. That leaves Sprint. That's about it. And Sprint doesn't have any tablets. So if you want a slate, either buy a device and tether or get raped. That's your two choices right now. That's and this was what I was advising people. I'm like, if you sit back, wait till about now. Even if you want an iPad, sit back, wait till about now. If you're not uber impressed with the iPad 2, the iPad 1 will be on sale. And that's the case, and so, yeah. Okay, moving on to...
Wait for the start.
Yeah, moving on to Googleton. Yeah, Yeah, we don't have enough people to go into that one. You know, of course, we covered the blind thing in Linux, so I'm not sure that's worth rehashing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's interesting. There's some people subjecting about Amazon possibly releasing a Android-based Kindle.
Oh, that'd be nice if it was like the Adam the little screen thing. With one end you just for reading, you get like a week of barrel, you know.
Well, no, and honestly, these little lightweight Android devices would be perfect for that. And then you could do more besides just read books, which wouldn't be a bad thing at all. Now, one of the things they'd have to get right there is they'd have to use a no glare screen, which can be a good in a low power mode, because that's one of the real appeals of the Kindle, that it has great grayscale, that it's not glare, so you can actually look at it under sunlight and so on. I mean, this would not be a tablet you'd game on, but...
Well, my brother's wife, she has a Kindle DX, but she doesn't use it.
Nice. Well, no, it's like, and you know, I mean, for somebody who likes to read, the Kindle is a good device.
Yeah, she likes to read, but she doesn't use it that often. Like, I got my brand spanking new computer. I was going to do some ethically cool, awesome stuff with it, but I don't really use it that often. Like, basically, do the same stuff I've always been using, you know, the internet.
Right.
Being addicted to YouTube and stuff like that.
No, yeah, well, an Android would let you do this, because then, and honestly, I think an Android-powered Kindle, if done right, could actually be very useful, because, like, you could be in one of the Kindle books, and a Kindle could add a whole degree of interactivity to the Kindle marketplace, where, to the Kindle books, where, like, if you're reading something and you want to just reference something, you could literally go to the cloud and, you know, get the hive mind on this particular thing, which could be very useful if all that could be interlinked in there.
Yeah, because it'd be like app right now. Like, oh, I mean, since your friend, oh, recommend this book to your friend, you know.
Well,
okay, John, John might like this book. Like recommend to him, you know.
Well, and going back to Apple for a second, I don't know if you've seen those Verizon iPhone 4 commercials that are basically, if you don't have an iPhone, you didn't buy Apple. You know, you know, and one of the things they poke at there is, you know, because of the Apple licensing terms, is only the iBook store will allow you to buy a book in thing, because of most of the people aren't wanting to futz with this because they can't afford the 30% cut for Apple on top of the 30% for the app on top of everything. They just can't afford it.
You get a PDF and just read the PDF.
Yeah, well, yeah, and honestly, this would allow...
you get the PDF, you get the entire work for Apple phone to open for you, you get Alice in Wonderland, you get the, Wizard of Oz, you get all that stuff for free, legally.
Yeah, and if Amazon were to do something like this, it would allow them to create that experience without having to do the 30 cents cut, and they still have the iOS Amazon app and so on and so forth, which would mean for Amazon Kindle thing, and admittedly, the Kindle bookstore is, you know, what iTunes is to music, the Kindle bookstore is to ebooks right now. It's just the situation that's come up. So if you want an ebook, you really want an Amazon store Kindle book, regardless of what device you're loading it on. That's just what you're...
And it is cross-platform, like the iTunes was, but iTunes is only cross-platform enough that the other people care about it.
Well, yeah, but, you know, with Alien... With Alien DAR coming to Linux, Kindle will indirectly wind up being completely cross-platform. Dalvik is what I was thinking. So that'll be a good thing. And honestly, this is a move that would make sense. It's just a rumor at this point. This device is just, you know, basically Amazon fans going, well, is Amazon going to do this? But it would make sense for that aspect alone, because then this would be the flagship for Kindle people device, but this marketplace also works with everything else. So, I mean, it would make sense. I don't know if you have anything to add on that.
Not really. You know, it's just, you know, it makes sense.
Now, how much would it cost?
What do you mean?
Do you think
Half
that?
with the ebook.
Do you think it'd go back to like the oh dear God price of the Kindle of old, or do you think it'd be like a $99 Android device?
Well, it shouldn't be a $99 but they should pick up off the royalties.
Yeah, I would think so, but whether or not it will be, I never thought.
If they make some money off the royalties alone, they can still get some profit share because more and more people would get the third party, and they would be like. It'll be like wholesale versus like selling one by one for a ridiculous price, If you can sell them wholesale for like 50% off like each, but they sell like 10,000 from like at once. It costs me like $10 to make it, but I'm selling it for like $50,
Is there a reason you're getting fuzzier as we go on?
I don't really. Well, my Skype connection says that I have a real bad connection.
Okay, and we should probably try and wrap this up. Okay, last valid thing on the list for this week.
That's in my video now.
Yeah. Oh no, just leave it on. It's like, of course. Well, because we're almost done. Of course, Google has been hacked again by China. Yeah, it's like there's
ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Yeah. Ancient Chinese secret. Hack Google Gmail. Yes. Big profit. It's like, whatever. We don't have enough of the particulars of this yet, but I can't say I'm honestly surprised. The reality is, because of the way internet traffic works in and out of China, I'm not sure you can ever make a system fully unhackable. You know what I'm talking about there?
What are you talking about?
Part of the way the Great Firewall works is any traffic going in and out of China it basically is susceptible to a man-in-the-middle attack. The way internet encryption is supposed to work is I'm the client, server here communicates to me through an encrypted line, which means the packets are encrypted until they get to the other end, and that decrypts them. Well, in China, here's the way it works. Server communicates to, they get to the firewall, the Great Firewall. It is then decrypted, and everything in the China Great Firewall looks at it, looks at all the stuff unencrypted, then re-encrypts it, and sends it to the person. Which means the Great Firewall was the ultimate man-in-the-middle attack. And all it takes is an unscrupulous tech to go, ooh, look at what I can do with all this unencrypted information.
Ancient Chinese secret.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm not surprised. I'm honestly surprised this doesn't happen more, to be perfectly honest. Because realistically, anything that goes through the China firewall is susceptible to this with even one unscrupulous Chinese tech. Even one. It would only take one only. That's it. Somebody who's had a bad day and is like, I just want to sign. And honestly, the hacker mentality has nothing to do with political affiliations or country or anything else. It has to do with the hacker mentality because I can and I'm bored. That's really what it comes down to. So,
or because I'm pissed and I really pissed off and I really want to.
Yeah. It's regardless. Now, what they do with the because I can and because I'm bored, is but yeah. All right. I think this show did actually suck, but it's like, anyways, that's all right. Hopefully, I'll get some information. Peace out, all.